Panantukan numbering systems. That's jab, cross, hook, hook, uppercut, uppercut, back fist and overhand, back fist and overhand. Hammer, hammer, X on this side. Lift this up, or sometimes you go and hit your own hand, bang, like that, and a raking jab down, ready to go. Panantukan numbering systems don't really exist, but I made one because I like to make lists. A lot of boxing coaches, as you know, will have numbering systems for their punches so that you learn punches in a certain order. It also makes it easier from the corner for them to yell out what it is they want you to do, and it's maybe more of a coded thing, etc. So a lot of times, we know that the jab is the number 1, the cross is the 2, the hook is the 3, etc. For the Panantukan portion, I kind of added a few other things to the list that I think are unique to Panantukan, or at least differ from that baseline of boxing. The first 2 is jab and cross, that's the 1-2. So if you've got somebody holding for you, usually for the jab cross, you could hold 1 like this, and you go straight down the pipe, or 2 like this, and it's more of like what you call crisscross punching, so you're hitting diagonal and diagonal. But that's it, jab cross is just 1, 2, lead and rear punch. 3 and 4, hook and hook. Left hook and right hook. You could change on your own, like the height, the angle of these things, the distance for these things. You could be horizontal or vertical fist for any of those, depending on your preference. 5 and 6, left uppercut, right uppercut. Okay, so those just come low and up that way. Left and right uppercut, uppercut and uppercut. Now, having finished the rear uppercut, our weight's gone from a little bit on the rear foot right up into the middle like this. We're gonna use this body position to start some counter rotation. I'm gonna allow my body to shift a little bit so that my lead hand crosses the center line. I don't wanna move it over here. I'm just gonna shift, and then I'm gonna use that to come back through the center as a back fist. And as I do, I counter rotate on the lead foot so that the movement this way allows my shoulder to extend and I connect with those knuckles. So seeing it from the top, that's gonna look like jab, cross, hook, hook, uppercut, uppercut, left back fist. Okay, from there, the right hand's gonna come in over top as any kind of rear overhand. So you're gonna move your head offline, let this sink over the top. So it's gonna go jab, cross, hook, hook, uppercut, uppercut. Then he's gonna hold this way. This is gonna be back fist so that the pad is kind of pointed at me diagonally because this shot is coming through the line diagonally. So when this is here, like that. Then he's gonna take that same pad and turn it palm up diagonally so that when my overhand comes in, it has a nice angle for the pad for it to reach. It's up diagonal. Having finished your backhand and overhand, you're gonna repeat the process on the other side. My right hand just finished, so I'm gonna let it come out as a back fist this way. So that's back fist, and then we're gonna do a lead overhand on top like that. We don't do the lead overhand too much. Some groups do. Some fighters really like it. If he throws a nice straight punch over here like this, and I shift offline and sink that in. I think there's clever places to use it. So that's jab, cross, hook, hook, uppercut, uppercut, back fist, overhand to back fist and overhand. For the right back fist, kind of same thing as we said, but we're on the other pad. This is pointed sort of diagonally at the line because this is gonna come out diagonally. And I almost want it on the center line so that I'm not training myself to go chasing after the pad too much. So it's here in the middle. Then when this comes in, it's gonna sink. So he's just gonna kind of go palm up diagonal this way so I can drop that on top. From here, we add things that to me feel pretty specific in the Panantukan spectrum. So the first 2 are diagonal hammer fists so that you make an X or a kiss like this. So that's forehand and backhand this way. So we went jab, cross, hook, hook, uppercut, uppercut, back fist to overhand, then this comes diagonal through the center and diagonal through the center. You could rip those in big motions. You could just hit and hit, but the hold is gonna be both pads here around about his shoulders and diagonally facing the middle so that I can come diagonal in and diagonal out. If your pad has a lot of curve to it, make sure you're accounting for that and you're letting this point up a little bit because these shots come downward. So if it's inadvertently pointing down, they're not gonna have the right target. It's gonna skip right off. So it starts right side, forehand and backhand, left side, inward and backhand that way. So from the top so far, jab cross, hook, hook, uppercut, uppercut, backhand to overhand, he turns it up, boom. Same thing on the other side, backhand turns it up, then the X is on the right and on the left. So the last two, numbers 15 and 16, bring it home as far as Panantukan punching go. So we have the Bolo punch. We're going to do that on the rear side. A lot of times you're taught that the Bolo punch comes from the sword, the machete, the Bolo. Obviously this is just a stick. I didn't have a Bolo in front of me, but if you're imagining this with the edge on it, sometimes there's even a back edge so that the shot comes up that way, bang, like that, here, or it pulls up this way, like that's coming from underneath. And so the arm kind of moves like that, and it hits up. There's like a ripping motion to it. So that's the significant part for these last two. There's a ripping aspect to it. When you see people like Sugar Ray talking about Bolo punch, and it's like the swinging of the arm, and then he hits you on the other side.
Confidence has grown. Now the Bolo, and he caught him with the left.
That's also something that's called Bolo punch. I don't know the correlation, but they look very similar. So there's got to be some cool story that maybe you guys know about how they're named the same, but that's different. So Bolo punch would be here where we're ripping this underneath like that, and right as it makes contact, the elbow bends. So again, it has a ripping quality to it. I'm not just lifting to the sky, I'm going whang, like that. So that, having brought his head up, the last shot is going to be raking jab. So instead of going low to high, this is more like high to low, so that when we hit and turn, it's going to just tear the whole face down. A raking motion with the jab or any shot, really, really devastating as far as how it creates a cut. But it's why I put it in, because I think that stuff is of value, at least looking at the art. So this should come down a little bit. Notice it doesn't go too far. I don't want to completely deviate the line, which is why it's inherently risky. But when it hits, it drops immediately so that your knuckles are biting and slashing at the skin like that. So the last two, one comes up and the other one comes down. The hold for that Bolo punch, you could hold either pad. You just need something that's pointed down. You could use one pad, you could use the other, or you could use both, because sometimes this comes in heavy. Be mindful that it doesn't spring back towards your own face for that reason. Point it pretty flat towards the ground. It's gonna come up actually hitting where my knuckles are now going this direction. So him holding it like that, where it's pointed at his body, that might be nice, but then you get stuck. So what I'm gonna say is just go flat and go up. I love this punch. Last one is the raking jab. So he's just gonna hold either pad, and when I hit, I just drop on the pad. Like I've got something paint on my knuckles, I wanna hit and just wipe it down the pad fast. Bang, like that, bang. So it just has a little drop. Make sure after the drop, you pull back correctly. Don't drop and then come here and get hit for it. So from the top, those punches in isolation would be jab, cross, hook, hook, uppercut, uppercut, backhand and overhand, backhand and overhand, hammer, 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 Bolo, Bolo, and raking jab. Just for a different angle in case that's helpful, that's jab, cross, hook, hook, uppercut, uppercut, back fist and overhand, back fist and overhand. Hammer, hammer, X on this side, lift this up, or sometimes you go and hit your own hand, bang, like that, and a raking jab down, ready to go. Last time on the pads, jab, cross, then hook, hook, uppercut, uppercut, back fist and overhand, that's gonna be on the right pad, and on the other side here for back fist and overhand, like that. Then we have the X's here. There's a joke there, I'm sure. Here, this way. Then double them up for Bolo punch, and put over here 1 or 2 pads, raking jab like that. All right, thanks for watching. I hope you found that interesting. I know it's kind of a long video, but I wanted to give an opportunity to really get a sense of how much diversity exists inside of Panantukan. Just as a reminder, we're only talking about punching, right? I'm gonna do another series investigating all the different types of finger jabs, using the fingers to poke or lacerate or puncture in some way. That's got like 30 parts. So we're really talking about 16 ways just to punch, right? Not use the bottom of the hand or the palm or the fingers or the forearm or this side of the forearm or the elbow or the outside of the elbow or the inside or the shoulder. You get where we're going. Let me know if you have any questions, comments. Please don't forget, like, subscribe. Thanks for checking it out.